Am I going to lose a bunch of muscle because I fast? That's a question that I get a lot of the time. You see, muscle is so important. We work really hard to get muscle. Muscle makes our body have strength. Muscle is a great indicator for longevity. Having muscle mass is really essential to a healthy life. So a lot of people ask me, if I fast, am I going to lose muscle mass? Am I going to lose all this muscle if I fast? Well, maybe. One of the things that we need to think about when we think about fasting and muscle loss is what is muscle and what does your body need during a fast? I also pastor a church, and right now we're in the middle of a 21-day fast. And during that time, we're just kind of cutting down our food budget. And just wouldn't you know, the most expensive part of our food budget is protein. So we're eating a lot more things like beans and rice and tons of spinach. And we're doing the best that we can. And we're eating one meal. I'm eating one meal a day. And I'm definitely at a caloric deficit. And then I step on the scale. When I stepped on the scale, it said that I've been losing weight. I'm like, that's good. But I only lost about 1.5 pounds of fat. And I'm thinking, ooh, okay. But I lost like 6 pounds. So what about the other 4.5 pounds? Was that muscle? So when I looked at my biometric scan, it said that my muscle mass actually did go down just a little bit, about 2.5 pounds, which then would make a person think that Anthony lost 1.5 pounds of fat and about 2 pounds of muscle, let's just say, and then about 2.5 pounds of water weight is what a lot of people would think. I want to talk to you about what that is and why I'm not concerned, and actually why you shouldn't be concerned if you fast. So this is just going to take a few minutes. I hope it doesn't take too long. Don't stop this and be like, I don't want to listen to it anymore. Just listen to the end. I think this will be really good for you. Your body is super smart. It's intelligent. Okay. So if while you're fasting, you have moderate to low like impact activity, you're not hitting the gym as hard as you can, but you're kind of just taking it easy in the gym. You're going for walks, maybe a jog, but you're not going as hard as you possibly can. Then odds are you're not going to lose a lot of muscle. So what do you lose? And how does this logically make sense to people who don't have degrees in nutrition and exercise physiology and sciences? This is how you make sense of it. Your body does not need necessarily a lot of fat. Your body does need muscle. So just think about that for a minute. My body needs muscle. My body knows it needs muscle because if I don't have muscle, I die. My heart is a muscle. If I atrophy muscle just because I haven't eaten as much food, then my body is attacking something essential. Now, what is non-essential? What is non-essential is large amounts of fat. And what I mean by large amounts of fat is unless your body fat percentage is below 10%, your body has lots of extra fat on it. 1 pound of fat, think about this logically. 1 pound of fat stored is 3,500 calories of stored energy. But 1 pound of lean muscle mass is only 700 calories. And not only that, but in order to break that muscle down, it requires even more calories to break that muscle down. So your body does not use muscle as an efficient fuel source. Muscle being used is a last resort. So what does your body do? When you eat extra calories, your body stores those calories as fat. The first thing your body wants to do is it wants to top off your glycogen stores before it makes fat. So glycogen stores is basically sugar in the blood and in the muscle and and in the liver. In that, you have about 1,000, maybe 1,200 calories, depending on your size of stored muscle glycogen and blood glycogen and liver glycogen. Your body is going to use those things first. But that sugar is stored in water. And that's why people say you've lost water weight. What you've done is your body likes glucose. glucose. It likes to run on sugar. So that's why you crave sugar. But when you get into a fast, one of the first things your body's gonna do is, if you are carbohydrate deficient, you don't have enough carbs, you don't have the sugar, your body's going to use what you have. Now, glucose is important to your body. Your body can make it. So it can make it out of all kinds of things. But one of the places, the most important place to remember, is when your body has used all of this stored energy in your muscles and stored energy in your blood, called your glycogen stores. When those things are depleted, your body has to find a way of getting sugar back into your body. So this is how it does it. This is a beautiful thing. Fat is just stored carbohydrates. Carbs are broken down into glucose for your body to use. So this is how your body works. Your body stores carbohydrates and a few other things, mostly carbohydrates, as the backbone of fat. And your body needs that. So when you are in a deficient diet, whether you are just like restricting your diet, or you're on a fast, or somewhere in between, or you're intermittent fasting, your body is going to use up the sugar it has. Then it's going to switch your body over into a ketogenic mode. And in that ketogenic mode, your body is going to start taking fat, and it's going to process that fat, getting out of it the sugar that your body needs to create energy. So that's where your energy is coming from. Muscle does not contain all of the things your body needs to effectively create energy in a time of famine, in a time of fasting. Muscle's not efficient. So this is what happens when you're fasting to your muscle. Your muscle seems like it's getting smaller, seems like it's shrinking, because muscle is largely composed of water, and you have these fibers in your muscle. You have slow and fast twitch fibers. You have aerobic and anaerobic fibers of your muscle. Basically, to say this, some of these fibers in your muscles, they actually utilize sugar stored in them in order to work. That's why when we are depleted of our glycogen stores, we feel weaker. And then, oh no, I'm losing muscle. And then you look in the mirror and you go, oh no, I'm looking smaller. You're not losing muscle. You're just losing the sugar stored in the muscle. Now, if you continue to fast and work hard, breaking down muscle tissue, now you might atrophy muscle. You might say, well, I'm working out because I don't want to lose muscle. This is where we all make mistakes, my friend. You don't gain muscle when you work out. You gain muscle in the recovery after the workout. You gain muscle when you eat protein and carbohydrates after your workout. And those things go to town making and repairing muscle in your body. You actually have to eat about 2,000 extra calories along with needed protein to build 1 pound of lean muscle tissue. And that pound of muscle tissue is only worth 700 calories if your body were to metabolize it. And your body knows that. Your body knows how hard it had to work to make that muscle. Your body's not going to eat that muscle. Your body's going to do what it should do. Fat is your body's way of storing energy. Your body's going to go after that fat, and that's good news for all of us. Now, if we go back to Anthony, how did I equate the weight loss from fasting for the last week and a half? This is how it is. If I lost about 6 pounds over the last week and a half in doing an intermittent fast, basically, and eating less food and really cheaper foods, which means much less protein, that I'm not losing muscle. I've just lost the water in the muscle. But what I do know that I did lose is I lost about 1.5 pounds of body fat. And that 1.5 pounds of body fat is no lie. There may have been some dehydration factor in there. Maybe it was more like 1 pound of body fat. But what I do understand is that my body fat is stored fuel. And in 1 pound of body fat, I have 3,500 calories, which this makes perfect sense considering the caloric deficit that I've been at in this fast. My body has been burning fat. How also do I know my body's been burning fat? Right now, I'm telling you, my breath is hotter than a dragon's. And it's because my body's in what's called ketosis. I just brushed my teeth, but my mouth tastes horrible. My body is releasing ketones. That actually gives me greater mental clarity. Another thing that's happening when we're in a fast is our body goes into autophagy. And autophagy is a time when our body does actually eat some broken amino acids and proteins in your body. What it does is it starts saying, I've got to get energy from somewhere, so I'm going to start cleaning house. And so all of these broken, dead, and weak cells in our body, these things are the things your body's going to go after. Even if it needs protein, your body can get amino acids and proteins out of broken protein in your body, metabolizing that through a very complicated process. But what I do know is that your body is not going to go after your super healthy, strong, lean muscle tissue until way further into a fast when your body actually is in some sort of starvation. At that point, your body still is going to preference fat until it can't preference fat any longer. And there are different types of activities that our body can say, I can't preference fat anymore, which gets us into metabolic modes. If you are doing intense strength training, sprint training, high intensity interval training, then you have got to replenish protein and carbohydrates. Your body's going to need them. All macronutrients get used when you're doing intense work. However, going for a brisk walk, light weights, functional mobility movements that don't stress you out. These things are great things to do to promote healthy maintenance of your muscles. So if you're worried about losing muscle during a fast, it might look like it. You might get on the scale. You might look in the mirror. You might think you're losing muscle, and you might be losing just a very small amount of muscle because your body does need to repair muscle in your body. If you want to lose muscle fast, work hard. I mean, hit the gym hard and say, I'm saving you're not maintaining anything. If you are not eating appropriate amounts of nutrition to replenish and rebuild what you are utilizing in your workouts, then you might lose muscle. But if you're a normal person, you don't have to worry about it in your normal day or moderate activity and light impacted activities. One more thing. Let's say there is some muscle loss. So what? Your body has a memory for muscle. Studies have been done that say that if you lose muscle mass during a fast, that your body will regain that muscle quickly post-fast, especially for muscle that you have had on your frame for a relatively long amount of time. Your body actually says, I liked having that muscle. I know what it's like to have that muscle. I'm going to build that muscle. So during your fast, don't worry too much. You might look like you're losing muscle, but you're definitely losing fat. Don't get in your head. Just push through. When the fast is over, feed your muscle. Make a few small lifestyle changes, like go for brisk walks instead of hard runs. If you can do these things, then you don't have to worry about your muscle loss, and you're going to enjoy all the benefits that fasting has for you. I hope that this encourages you, and if it does, please share.